All right, Ricardo, I'm recording. Thanks for meeting with me today.
No, thank you, Ryan, for the opportunity to be here.
Where are you at?
I'm in Mexico City.
Okay.
I, yeah, I born here. I live here, and sometimes for the weekend I go to a small town called Querétaro, which is 2 hours driving from here, just for having some rest and chill out.
Oh, cool. My grandma's from Chihuahua.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. It's pretty hot there. It's like the desert zone, and yeah, it's beautiful, but it's pretty hot.
Yeah. So we were actually chatting a little bit earlier, but I was kind of telling you what it is that I do in this space, and then just kind of a brief introduction of what you're doing or what you were up to and what you're doing now. Can you tell me a little bit about like your background and what you were doing before getting into like NFTs, Web3?
Yeah, totally. I was working for Coca-Cola company as a chief creative officer, so I was executing all this go-to-market strategy for their clients. I mean, for Domino's, for Burger King, for all those Coca-Cola partners. And then I put my own studio because I got engaged with some of Coca-Cola's work based on CGI animation mostly, and I put my own studio. I started my own studio back in 2005, and then obviously it was a startup, and I struggling like any other startup in the beginning, but then I focused all the energy on the resources to produce the first 3D CGI film ever produced in Mexico. Like let's say 3 4 years producing and learning. We were flying while pilot the airplane. So finally we did it. We did it. That was a milestone here in Mexico. That was the first CGI 3D film ever. And then I was doing very well. I was happy with the studio, but then the pandemic hit the planet, the whole planet, and some of the projects we had at that moment was canceled, were canceled, and with that I ran out of resources, and then I decided to shut down because if not, it would be very complicated to follow. So I shut it down, and then I found myself in the middle of nowhere without a job, without the studio, and I said, "What I'm gonna do?" So I put together all my background and my abilities, and first of all my passion about doing something, and I found Web 3.0 like my new beginning, a new fresh start. And obviously, I entered as an NFT artist, and it was surpriseful for me because my first NFT sold out in minutes in a NFT marketplace called Portion, and I sold out 20 NFTs in 20 minutes, basically.
Wow.
Yeah, and I said, "Oh, they did that was easy," but it's not easy at all. I mean, I got lucky, but because the managers, the people who run this marketplace love what I did, and they bought it immediately. So this is why I run with that much luck at that time, and then I started to follow companies that are into Web3, trying to build something like NFT marketplaces, like go-to-marketing strategy. And I get involved with Portion, obviously, because they hire me as a content creator. And then I move into a company which runs a token named Evergrow, and I'm helping them building their ecosystem, launching their wallet, their NFT marketplace, their creative, I mean the creators platform like YouTube, but you can monetize in that platform. So we are in the middle of building launching, go-to-marketing strategy, both all of this at the same time. And yeah, I love the blockchain mission statement. I have seen so many wonderful projects, but lack of focus on utilities, on go-to-marketing strategy, and then they fail. Not because they're bad, it's just because they fail in the strategy. Because the strategy is all about avoiding the threats that may hurt your project. So that's the reason of building a good strategy. So
So,
this is why I'm here. Yeah.
explain to me a little bit about go-to marketing strategy and what that encompasses.
Oh yeah, totally. Well, first you need to focus on your targeted audience, because in NFTs the audience is not that big. I mean, uh, Coca-Cola audience is pretty big, but not in NFT. We The people that are in Web3 daily, they hear about NFTs every single day, every minute. But if you're not totally into crypto or in Web3, you heard about NFTs once in a day or once in a month, but this is not your daily basis. So go-to-marketing strategy is about engagement. It's about finding the right consumer that may want to buy your NFT or your product that you are offering. So the right question is why I need your product. What is your product giving me adding value to my life, so I can spend some dollars in your product. So that's basically the questions you need to answer for a go-to-marketing strategy. Once you have your audience, you figure it out how is your audience, then you need to communicate with that audience, like being vulnerable, like being honest, because people can tell if you are lying, or your product are not 100% honest. If you are just trying to make profit, or you are really trying to add value to that community. So it's a very tricky. Like I said, a go-to-marketing strategy is visualizing all these threats that may hurt you, and you need to avoid. You need a strategy that let you reach your goal, the finish line.
What would you say are some aspects that can harm or destroy a project, like when they're not strategizing correctly, or just um, any other problems that you recognize that are failures for projects?
Well, for instance, not delivering the promise. I mean, if I'm telling you that my NFT story are going to make you laugh, and you read it and you don't laugh, I'm not delivering the promise. So that's very important. You deliver a promise when you launch a product. It's gonna make your life easier. It's gonna give you wealth. It's gonna be a good investment. X, you name it. But if you don't deliver that promise, I mean, if you lie, even if you don't like it, but if you don't build your strategy around delivering the promise you made, you're gonna fail. 100% you're gonna fail. Because people, even if you don't tell them, hey, I'm gonna give you an awesome t-shirt, and they don't know about what's the promise inside your NFT, but they feel that they're gonna receive something, but because you build hype around your launch and everything else, and once they receive it, it's not the expect, is not you don't cover their expectations, then you're failing, and you're gonna fail.
Gotcha. So making sure that you meet the expectations and really commit to whatever the promise is, delivering on that promise.
Exactly.
Because
Exactly.
because the community that you're going to build, because if you want engagement, right? You got to build a community, and if you mess up and that community, sees that, there's a possibility of the community becoming more toxic and saying, hey, what's
Yeah.
what's going on, and then moderators are like kicking people off like they're not supposed
Oh
to,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, 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 yeah. For instance, I remember once we launched a new soda in Mexico, a new apple soda in Mexico, when I was in Coca-Cola, and we made a great go-to-market strategy. We spent millions of dollars in marketing, in advertising, but you know what? It tastes awful. So it was a failure, total failure, because people can't compare your product with other products, and if you're not better, they're going to decide for the other product. That's simple. So this is kind of one example. Even if you have a lot of money to launch, you need to be good. You need to be good with your product.
What are some good marketing channels? Like, I know a lot of people are on, Twitter, crypto Twitter, and Discord, and I mean, I connect with people on professional networks like LinkedIn mostly because I'm not super active in Twitter. But in terms of engagement and building a community for a project, where would you say is a good place to start?
Well, it's very tricky because once I started in the NFTs, it was all about art. If it was pretty art, and you record yourself um, building that art or painting it or in your studio, you are going to engage with 2 5 people that may want your NFT, your art, because it was all about art from the very beginning. But now it's all about money. uh, Everything in Web3, everything in crypto at this moment is focused on making you rich in weeks, in months. So now it's very difficult to build a community around a project that's not built around wealth. So you need to be honest with a message. You need to tweet them every day. You need to link it in, to upload post with good content, honest content that may engage. And maybe you're not getting thousands of followers in a week or two, but you're gonna get hundreds of followers that engage with your message. And that's where you start building a community. You don't care if there's 22,000 members or just 1K, because that 1K are going to engage more with you than the 20,000. Of course, if you are promising wealth and great income, you're going to build like this a community just based on the promise.
Gotcha. I hear a lot that NFTs are needing more utility because in the beginning it was just the art, and
Yeah.
now it's about how the community um, can gain some sort of utility from an NFT. What do you find are useful utilities, and what do you find are not useful utilities for an NFT for a community?
Well, if you see what NFTs are successful out there, one of the most successful NFTs are Gary Vee's NFTs, because he's offering like VIP events based on his knowledge, and he is sharing his knowledge with their holders. So for me, the community wants to feel special. He wants to get some memberships only reward based on the NFT they are holding. And for me, that's the number one utility, to give the community VIP access to some members only events. For me, that's number one. I just recently make a poll in Twitter with Evergrow. Evergrow has like 150K holders. The community is big, and they always interact with Twitter, and they agree that VIP and members only events are the number one utility an NFT should offer. But again, the offering should be pretty cool because you are competing with guys like Gary B, with guys like, I don't know. There recently these guys, I can't remember the name of the band, just launched an NFT with their record, and they're giving special concerts for their holders, and they sold out very quickly because they already had a community, their fans, you know, and they sold out in seconds.
Oh, that's cool. And they could do even, I was talking to a gentleman that does um, community events and metaverse concerts, things
Yeah,
like that. I mean, so the NFT utility I'm learning is like maybe a physical event, but also maybe a
yeah.
metaverse type of event or
Yeah, it has to be both, you know, because maybe you are in Spain and I'm in Mexico, and some guy are in Ukraine or in UK's, they can attend a concert in Miami, but they sure have internet and can connect into the metaverse, this Decentraland, or you name it, Roblox.
so I know that the space right now is still very small, but it seems like there, because I'm researching it probably, but it seems like there are a lot of brands that are dipping their toe into Web3 and NFT plays now to try
Yeah,
to connect with their audience.
yeah,
Um, like brands, influencers, um, trying to think of who else or what else is trying to connect with the community. I noticed charities. It seems like there's
yeah,
social impact and good causes that are tied into utilities
yeah,
or tied into something with the, you know, the proceeds of the purchase of an NFT goes to, you know, save the cats or, you know,
yeah,
something like that.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
Also, sports. Remember
oh,
sports?
of course, yeah. Kind of forgot about that one. Yeah.
Yeah,
Soccer teams,
it all
football
starts
teams.
with sports, the NBA shots, you
Yeah.
know.
NBA Top Shots. Yeah, that's right. I had a friend that sold, oh, I can't forget. It was a famous quarterback. He recently retired, I think last year, maybe it was the year before, and he launched an NFT and he flipped it and made some good
Yeah,
money on the flip.
yeah,
So there's like
yeah,
a secondary market for flippers and
yeah. Also NHL star, hockey stars, and recently soccer clubs like Barcelona and Real Madrid are launching their NFTs for exclusively attendance into the dressing rooms, to have dinner with their favorite players. So it's pretty cool.
that's
Pretty
way
cool.
cool. I learned about a really cool project or protocol called Prism, and you can put together your group collective and purchase an NFT that might be expensive, but collectively you could buy it and have certain rights to just to give certain people the rights to something. Like if there's a concert or something, you can give someone the rights to it or um, whatever that utility might
Yeah,
be. I'm noticing that more than just like individual people, now they're putting together groups or guilds
yeah,
to start to say, hey, we want to buy a Bored Ape or a CryptoPunk or whatever the case is, something that has utility where they can say, hey, this is going to get us into, I don't know, Bitcoin Miami, you
yeah.
know, or and VIP, you know, and we're going to select a few people to be able to go from our DAO or decentralized autonomous organization.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So yeah, very interesting. I'm thinking, I'm just thinking outside the box where like the consumer is obviously a fan. Consumers are fans or loyal customers, but now it's kind of evolving to like not just an individual, but a group collective saying, hey, I could put together a guild or a group of maybe 4 or 5 people, and we have a multi-sig wallet where we can agree on things.
yeah,
And you know, I can basically just be like, hey, Ricardo, let's go to this Bitcoin Miami thing. We got a couple tickets. or
Yeah.
whatever, because it could even be sponsorship, for the group.
Yeah, totally, totally. Also, now collaboration are very attractive into the NFT space because it's like a gang. You go to the NFT New York, and it's like gangs. I mean, you see the apes, you see the CryptoPunks, and all these guys are like proud to belong. So it's beautiful. It's beautiful because it reminds you what the human evolution. We start exactly the same, doing groups and evolving. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
So what's the next uh big project that you're excited about? Anything that's like on your radar that maybe you're working on, or something that you just have interest in?
Oh yeah, totally. Well, for me, the mass adoption will start with brands. Now, brands, you mentioned brands are adopting and are jumping into Web3 through metaverse or NFTs or blah, blah, blah. But there is one reason. The first reason it was because of copyright, because if you launch an NFT with Nike brand, you can do that in the past because the metaverse didn't exist. So Nike doesn't have the rights, the brand rights in the metaverse because it doesn't, it don't even exist when they copyrighted the brand. So people notice that and start launching with brands like Gucci, and then brands notice that and they start building into the metaverse just to protect their brands, to copyright it. You can use my brand in a metaverse in NFTs. So that's the first step brands took. But once they pass, I love this because they pass from what the fuck to best friends forever. I mean, what the fuck are NFTs? And now they're friends forever because they found a new way to engage with younger audiences, with in another way to connect more business to consumer type of thing, rather than in stores that you never remember which one, who was your last consumer, your last client. But now you can connect with them and you can do a follow up. I mean, you can write him emails, messages, warning about some new drops, some new concerts, blah blah blah, you name it. So for me, that's the first massive adoption. Brands need to do their job for a massive adoption. Now, it's not about the art. I mean, it has to be nice. It has to look cool, but it's not about the art. You can draw anything in an NFT. Now it's all about the utility, you know, like we just mentioned before. But for me, you can go further. I mean, at this very moment, I'm working on a DAO that that if I find the right people and I connect with the right people, we might impact a new generation, because now younger generation are struggling with gender, with social media, with you name it. Come on, we are given a shit planet for them. We build this shitty planet, and they're going to struggle even just to grown up. Don't mention they have to find a job. Don't mention that. Just growing up is gonna be hard for them. And for me, I'm building this DAO because I want us, this generation, to be better than our parents. Because our parents thought that we should be the best, we should have a good income, we should look handsome, but that's not right. I mean, that's not a meaningful way of life. That's not the right values of being on planet Earth. The right values is you are made of stars, you belong to the universe, you need to take care of the rest of the species, You need to take care for your neighborhood. You don't give a shit for your neighborhood, because nobody taught you that we are one. That if you do something, it's like a domino effect. You're gonna harm somebody. So I'm working on this now. I'm raising funds through NFTs, and to build this platform, everyday content, to give direct message based on a guy named Matthew Lipman. He was the father of philosophy for kids, because he said that kids do understand what is the common good and why it's important. And imagine a full society based on this philosophy, not on the philosophy based on if you are rich, you are successful. No, that's not a philosophy. Well, that's a philosophy that brought us here, but that's not the good philosophy. So I'm building this DAO in order to introduce this new content, like entertainment content, because you're not gonna give a 100,000 book based on philosophy to a dad that already has a full-time job and 3 kids. he doesn't have the time to even look at the book. But did you give him content, meaningful content every day? People are not stupid. People want a change. We know we need a change, but we don't know how to. I mean, we are just one. If you change, it doesn't matter, because a lot of people won't. So that's my passion. I'm sorry, I'm talking too much.
I love it. I love it. Last question. So there are a lot of creatives out there that want to somehow be involved in the space. Maybe they don't know how yet, but what advice would you give those people, those creatives that are entering the space? What advice?
Well, first of all, take a look at the competition. See what the competition is doing, because everybody that is launching an NFT is a competition at this moment. So this is the first step. The second step, focus on some subject that really you are passionate about, and draw about that, because you're gonna show your passion through your art. So that's my 2 advices.
I love it. Ricardo, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for coming on.
It's a pleasure, Ryan. Thank you. Bye bye.